The Dendera zodiac is one of the most fascinating and iconic artifacts from ancient Egypt, reflecting the remarkable fusion of astronomy, religion, mythology, and art that characterized the intellectual traditions of the Nile Valley. Found on the ceiling of a small chapel on the roof of the Hathor Temple complex in Dendera, this circular relief has long captivated scholars, historians, and astronomers because it represents the earliest known depiction of the zodiac in a complete circular form. Created during the late Ptolemaic period, around the 1st century BCE, the zodiac combines traditional Egyptian symbolism with elements of Greek astronomy, offering a unique window into how the ancient world understood the heavens and the cycles of time. The Hathor Temple itself was a major religious center dedicated to Hathor, the goddess of music, love, motherhood, and the sky. Within its vast complex, a rooftop chapel known as the Osiris Chapel contains the ceiling where the zodiac was originally carved. The decision to place it high above the temple's main levels reflects the symbolic association between the sky, celestial deities, and resurrection rituals connected to Osiris. The ancient Egyptians believed that the heavens held the secrets of life, death, and rebirth, and the position of stars and planets influenced both natural cycles and sacred ceremonies. The Dendera zodiac is therefore not merely an artistic map, but a spiritual and scientific document at the same time. At the center of the zodiac, a circular disc represents the sky, organized in a complex yet harmonious structure. The 12 zodiac signs Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are arranged around the circumference. While these signs are very similar to the classical zodiac used today, many appear in uniquely Egyptian forms. For instance, Cancer is depicted as a scarab or turtle, rather than a crab, and Virgo appears as a woman holding a wheat stalk, reminiscent of the goddess Isis. These adaptations remind us that the Egyptian worldview blended local symbolism with imported ideas, absorbing Greek and Babylonian astronomical traditions, but always reshaping them according to their own cultural framework. Within the circular band of the zodiac, several planets are represented as deities traveling across the sky. The Egyptians recognized the visible planets Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and understood that their movements differed from those of ordinary stars. In the Dendera zodiac, these planets appear as guards carried on boats or walking across the heavens, highlighting their dynamic and wandering nature. This depiction is especially important because it demonstrates that the Egyptians distinguished between fixed stars and planets, an observation that required careful, long-term astronomical observation. Other astronomical elements also appear on the relief, such as the constellations of Orion and the Big Dipper. Orion was associated with Osiris, the god of death and rebirth, while Sirius, represented by a star near Virgo, was linked to Isis. The annual heliacal rising of Sirius signaled the beginning of the Nile flood and marked the start of the Egyptian calendar year. This rising was essential for agriculture, as the floodwaters nourished the fields and determined the success of the harvest. The presence of Sirius on the Dendera zodiac therefore reflects not only religious symbolism but also practical, agricultural importance. The Egyptians relied on the stars to organize their agricultural activities, festivals, and state rituals, and the zodiac served as a cosmic calendar guiding both earthly and spiritual life. One of the most striking features of the zodiac is the goddess Nut, the sky deity, who is often shown arching over the world. Although she is not the central figure in this particular relief, her presence in related inscriptions reinforces the idea that the sky was understood as a living divine entity. The air god Shu, who holds up the sky, and the earth god Geb, lying beneath it, form part of a cosmological triad that explains how creation was structured. By incorporating these deities into the zodiac's surrounding imagery, the Egyptians linked the stars to the myth of creation and maintained the belief that the universe was sustained by divine forces. The symbolic and scientific sophistication of the Dendera zodiac reveals the high level of astronomical knowledge achieved in ancient Egypt, although it was created in the Ptolemaic era. When Greek influence was strong, many concepts depicted on the relief can be traced to earlier Egyptian traditions. For thousands of years, the Egyptians carefully observed the night sky, developing calendars based on lunar, solar, and stellar cycles. Their temples were often aligned with astronomical events, such as solstices or the rising of key stars. The zodiac therefore represents the culmination of a long tradition of star watching and reflects a world view in which astronomy was deeply integrated into religion, architecture, and daily life. The modern history of the Dendera zodiac is dramatic and controversial. In the early 19th century, during a period of intense European interest in Egyptian antiquities, French explorers identified the zodiac and recognized its historical importance. In 1821, the relief was removed from the temple by French engineer Sébastien Louis Saulnier, who cut it from the ceiling and transported it to France. This act caused significant damage to the original structure and has been widely criticized as an early example of cultural appropriation. The zodiac was later presented to King Louis XVIII and eventually placed in the Louvre Museum in Paris, where it remains today. Meanwhile, the Egyptian government installed a replica in the Hathor Temple, allowing visitors to experience the artwork in its original architectural setting. Scholars have long debated the astronomical meaning and dating of the zodiac. Early European researchers attempted to use the positions of the stars and planets depicted in the relief to calculate its exact age, believing it might be thousands of years old. However, modern Egyptology has confirmed that the zodiac was created during the late Ptolemaic period, although it is based on much older astronomical traditions. The relief should not be interpreted as a precise, moment-in-time record of celestial positions, but rather as a symbolic and ceremonial representation of the sky. It reflects how the Egyptians conceptualized the heavens in relation to their mythology, cosmology, and religious rituals. In conclusion, the Dendera zodiac is far more than an ancient star map. It is a monumental synthesis of myth, astronomy, art, and science that reveals how the ancient Egyptians understood their universe. By blending native Egyptian symbols with Greek and Babylonian astronomical knowledge, the zodiac expresses a world view in which the heavens were alive, divine, and deeply connected to human experience. Its removal to France and preservation in the Louvre highlight both the global significance of this artifact and the enduring debates surrounding cultural heritage. Today, the Dendera zodiac remains one of the most powerful testimonies to the intellectual achievements of ancient Egypt and continues to inspire awe in all who study it.